Today, thank you for being with us, Veronica. We're going to talk about the agent, the agent that we have now. The average age of a real estate agent is 57. And the iBuyer. And the iBuyer, we're talking about the buyers that we're looking at coming in between the ages of 25 to 35, maybe a little bit older. And the approach matters. So to you, Veronica, what does an iBuyer look like?
Well, we're obviously talking about the internet age, right? We're talking about those consumers who are at some point doing their own research, right? It's the information age. They know where to get the information, but they're ready to talk to a professional or at least start the process. And these are people that are navigating your platforms such as Realtor.com. They're navigating your Zillows. They're navigating whether those websites that seem to be pretty proficient through AdWords or people are following them. And they're ready to start asking some questions. But we noticed that they probably have done this a number of times or have done it on a number of different platforms. They're either, they're not monogamous. They're not loyal. They're actually out there talking to maybe a number of people calling. But what we found is that these type of iBuyers, when they make a connection with you, then you can build some loyalty, whether it's the right questions. But these people are smarter. They have the information at their fingertips. They know what they want. And, we talked about a lot of noise earlier as we were recapping what we were going to talk about. A lot of them are just like, I just want the information, click, and you're like, but wait, I want to build a relationship with you, but you have such a short window to capture their attention. And what I find that these iBuyers are doing is they're looking for information now. They aren't looking for a lot of small talk. And when they're ready to pull the trigger, they're really serious. So if you're not making yourself sound like the expert, really giving them value, they're going to go to the next person who will. So we constantly train on, what are the ways and the strategies that we can be relatable to these iBuyers, that we don't sound just like any other Joe Blow, and that we capture them in that very short window to let them know, we know you have options. And we're so grateful that you reached out to us. And we want to show you what makes us a little bit different.
Ooh, I like that. We were talking to Barry Jenkins and Brian Curtis just a couple of weeks ago about that, coming from a slightly different perspective, because these iBuyers are so used to hearing the same thing, because we've all been ingrained with the Mike Ferry scripts, right? And we all sound the same.
Yeah, guys, we all have the same toolbox. It's just right. Stand out.
So I agree with you. I think this new generation of buyers is getting bombarded, because you mentioned this before we started, but in comparison to how many people actually buy homes versus how many leads we get, can you imagine how many times one buyer gets bombarded by an agent, right?
It's actually overwhelming for buyers and sellers. You have some buyers and sellers. I had a seller call me the other day. He's like, look, I appreciate the fact that your agent's prospecting. I appreciate the grit and the grind. He says, I'm a FISBO. I know a lot of people. He was like, bring me a buyer. And we talked about it. And look, I've always been very transparent, Tristan. I run a hybrid office. I have my team, but I also have independent agents who are very, very sharp, and they choose to align themselves with us because we're a good fit from a brokerage perspective and independent agents. And I know a lot of people struggle with that model, but even as a broker owner and a team leader, I have to show face for when those agents maybe kind of come across like maybe a little derailed and those complaints. And it was interesting because that seller just wanted to be respected. That seller just wanted to say, listen, I appreciate you calling, but I put on there, please no agent calls, and you could tell he was a very older, respected, very well-spoken man, just wanted to be respected. And he wanted to call back for me. And he's using platforms such as Zillow or Realtor.com and using all the exposure for FISBOs out there. And he felt that our industry is getting borderline disrespectful. And I asked him, why do you choose to promote your property on a portal like Zillow? He says, because I trust it, or, Realtor.com or whatever. But he says, but I also believe that real estate agents have got to understand that when we're ready, and if we tell you not right now, you have, and it was this, and this agent kind of is asphyxiated with Mike Ferry. And I said, listen, I love the OG. To me, I used to coach in military. Listen, I totally get it. I've been to his conferences, you know, I coached with him for a while and it's helped me get better in my scripting and objection handling. But you have to also know when to scale back. You have to know when to say, okay, this person is just not ready, but I'm going to check on you in about 3 weeks or a month. Do I have permission to do that? And just see how things are going. And because I really want to bring you a buyer. And instead of just saying, what do you mean you want to list your house with me? What do you mean you don't want to list your house with me? I was like, sometimes you just got to scale it back. So I've coached with everybody, Mike Ferry, you name them, I've done it. And I'm like, I take the little best of all the worlds and bring it together to the human element of saying, remember, there's a person on the other line, a person who has feelings, a person who has a need. And, this industry has gotten so competitive and cutthroat that, they're like, how many dials can you do? Go for the no, like really, really pound the phones and use your scripts and close them. Everybody sounds the same. And the guy told me, he says, every single person who has called me has said the same thing.
That's a really good point that you bring up. So tell me then, how do you and your team do it differently? Because I know you get leads from Zillow, and we hear a lot that Zillow leads suck. I personally think they're amazing, but tell me your approach with these leads that come in, like from inception. What do you guys do?
We follow a very simple, basic model. And I listen, I'm not the smartest girl on the block, but I know how to follow processes.
Come on. Yes, you are.
I'm very passionate. I'm very committed, but not always, I don't have this, formula to create things on my own. I love the R&D, rip off and duplicate. I love, seeing what other top producers are doing and implementing the best practices. But, we've developed our own style. But one thing we haven't changed is the concept, which we have it around here. I can show it to you somewhere, is, we use very simple steps. And I talked about this when we did the pitch fest that I was up against Kyle Whistler, which was a lot of fun. That Bomb Bomb hosted, and it was part of my pitch. I had 3 minutes to talk about why they should work with us. And, and I spoke on that video the same way we literally train our agents and talk. But clearly letting the consumer know we understand they have choices.
Got it.
Clearly understand they have choices. We thank them for giving us an opportunity to learn about what they're looking to accomplish. We simply follow forward. Very simple. FORD. Family. What's important to them? Their family. Occupation. What do they do for a living? What needs to happen for their career or for this work, for their house to be in line with their goals career-wise? Recreation. What do they do for fun? What do they want to do for fun? What's important? Is it the kids' soccer? Is it, being by the water? And dreams, again, 4 little words that I tell my team, always focus on the consumer's forward. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Obviously, if it's an investor, that falls more into the dream aspect because they dream of building a portfolio that is going to get them the return that they want. Just keeping that in mind during the entire conversation. And then we're very basic, very simple. We always follow LP Mama. Once we can truly peel the layers back of the discovery process under Ford, then we go straight into the details of, again, now we'll map out their LP Mama, location, price, motivation, do they have a mortgage, have they already talked to an agent? How many offers have they written? How far along are they in the process? And why are they, navigating to talk to someone else if they've already written offers? What was that experience that's causing them to say, I'm not really happy with the agent? We don't just simply say, yay, they're not happy with this agent. We say, well, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because we work with some of the best agents in the area, and we like to learn how we can improve and learn, and also some of the things that we want to make sure if what you're saying that agent is not doing is misaligned, maybe they have an expectation that just is unrealistic. At that point, we'll also stand up for our industry and our peers and say, well, I understand why you can feel that way, but, Tristan is a really great agent. And, I think that I might even send it back to you, Tristan, and say, hey, that little kitty out of the bag, they're not really happy, because I play nice with my network of agents because I run a team. I run a very, very high producing. Oh, sorry. We're dog friendly too, by the way. We have a visitor with a dog.
I love it.
In the background. So we like to play nice as well. But when we're discovering what that person wants in an agent, or what their expectations. Some of them are like, I have no idea. I don't even know where to begin.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do have an agent and it's someone that we respect in the industry, we won't throw shade. We're going to clean it up and say, oh my gosh, well, let's explain a little bit more how this process works. And I can understand why they may have answered that, but this is what we can promise you, or we are disaligned with that.
All
so
right.
for the LP Mama script, and it's not even a script, it's just kind of like the dialogue that we always say, when you hang up the phone, can you check off, and my agents have a sheet in front of them, and did we hit every single bullet point on LP Mama? If we did not, it's okay. You build rapport, then you hit them maybe with a video, or when you follow up on your appointment that you're going to bring them into the office, that gives you an opportunity to say, hey, Tristan, I had such a great time getting to know you over the phone. I look forward to meeting you on, September 6th at 11 o'clock. Before you come into the office, there's a couple of questions that I usually like to ask my buyers and sellers just to make sure I set them up for the most successful journey during this process. Can I touch base on this? Because if you forget something, it just gives you an opportunity to call them back and re-engage, send them a bomb video, or, just shoot them a text message. And in our database, in our CRM, every time we finish with a lead or a contact or a connect, we actually put, their LP Mama. We label it LP Mama, location. We'll write down, yes, what their motivation is between 0 to 3 months.
Ooh, that's brilliant. I love that.
So all of our agents and my VP of Ops and myself, when we're going in there and, kind of reviewing and touching base on the, whether it's the call, because we listen to all our calls through Better Voice, and we'll replay that and listen to it. We will personally decide, like kind of like a teacher or like a professor, like, did you hit those bullet points? For the most part, our agents do a really good job of putting them in there. And that LP Mama helps them as they're looking through their A list, B list, C list, how far out and how to prioritize that lead or that client, so that they can truly work their business with intention and service that client with intention.
Do you think that most iBuyers want to come into the office and talk to you?
It's interesting. Not all the time, but depending on where you're at. So for example, we focus in East Orlando. That's our main farming area. We farm heavily there. They see us in their mailbox. They see us on the signs in the yard. They see us online. They see us everywhere, and they see us in the neighborhood. So in that particular case, I had a client call us the other day, right off of Facebook referrals, and another one call in, and it was a very easy segue into, actually, we're right around the corner from you guys. You guys would like to swing by today? We can set up an in-person consultation to kind of go over everything. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, how's 430 sound? So in that case, boom, we have another office by the airport. So we have 2 locations strategically placed, so that we can have buyers even on the more center location of our town meet us if they're on the opposite side of town. Just, again, reading the room, understanding the phone call, understanding how this person's personality. Do you prefer to meet in person, or are you comfortable with video, Zoom? We also get a lot of out-of-state clients, especially through the iBuyer program. And those, again, are we doing videos for them? Are we Zooming them in? What works best for you? And we can't assume it's a one-size-fits-all. And we can't assume that iBuyers are only millennials. We have people who call us from all walks of life, all ages, because they're learning to trust this thing called the internet. As my father would say it, I found you on the internet, and it's, and you look like someone that was reputable. So at that point, we then ask them, I appreciate that. That's so cool. You're retiring. That's great. So instantly you're retiring. So you're asking yourself, okay, is this person maybe older? And then we just simply ask, what's the best form of communication? Do you prefer text? Are you comfortable with text? Are you comfortable with FaceTime? Oh my God, have you ever FaceTime someone and they say to you, you're FaceTiming me. Why are you FaceTiming me?
Yeah, totally.
So uncomfortable. I love it. I'm like, I wanted you to kind of see my expression and see that I'm a happy person and I'm excited for you. And my agents love FaceTiming their clients, especially they're like, oh, my client from New York, we FaceTime them, we walk through the property, and we're able to kind of give them a feel. They're super excited. So to me, again, it just depends on, again, it's not a one size fits all. Ford is our 100% rule of thumb of discovery for us to find out a little bit more about them, and them to see that we are in a discovery mode. And then we follow into LP Mama. That is our guide. It's not optional. It is what helps us as we're navigating through this abundance of leads and connections that we're making, stay organized in our database, because this can only hold so much. And then at that point, we then are able to prioritize who we're going to put at the top of our list, who we're going to call back week 1, week 2, week 3, etc.
All right. So you get leads from where, and where do they go into?
So we get leads from our community. We're very involved in our community. We, again, are in their mailboxes. We are online. We get leads from Zillow. We also are partners with Realtor.com, and we're about to increase our investments with them to kind of put the two ponies to race, Zillow and Realtor.com, with some of the changes that we're seeing. You know, we're still very loyal. We still, you know, convert very, very well with Zillow. But as some things are shifting, you know, we're just kind of seeing how things are running. We also are a curator client, and we have a pretty good Facebook presence, and we develop a lot of you know, content / presence. So people see that we're constantly, you know, getting listings, and that we're always blogging, talking about, you know, what not to do, what to do, no matter who you're working with. And naturally, we are known as an industry expert in this area, in our area where we do targeted ads. And those leads are a little bit different, right? It's a special kind of buyer. Meet Jax, everyone. He wants everyone to know who he is.
I love your dog.
You know, just a little bit of everything. Zillow is our #1 source of online leads. We have high conversion, and I want to credit that to being intentional also with your profile. We have over 660 reviews. We've worked very, very hard for that. We're very proud of that.
Wow, that's insane.
We have also video on there. We, you know, carry a good amount of listings. We showcase all of our team members on there. We're proud to showcase that we're a team. I know some teams only want to show themselves. We chose the model of, you know what, I'm not the superstar. I'm just blessed and lucky to be in partnership with some really great agents. And when you call to speak to Veronica Figueroa and the Figueroa team, you're going to get my partners. And my partners, they're great agents. They're really great partners. Oftentimes better than me at this point, Tristan. And I let my clients know that. And they say all the time, I want to talk to Veronica. And they're like, oh, Veronica's our partner. You know, I'm her, you know, whatever, agent on duty, whatever. They're so good and so smooth that they just know how to segue into it. And then I'm like, I want to meet them. And they're like, Veronica, they don't even want to meet you at this point. They love us. So, you know, my agent did such a good job on that. But as far as, again, why Zillow's our #1 online portal, it's just we got really intentional with it. Every dollar that we spend, we make sure that we're getting an ROI on it. So $1 in, 3, 4, 5 out, it's not a bad day.
No, not at all. So tell me, where do these leads go into? What CRM are you using right now?
So we use Follow Up Boss. I am a self-proclaimed, and pardon my French, I hope I can say this online, and please don't judge me, I'm a self-proclaimed CRM whore. I've tried them all. It's just been something that, again, that shiny object, you always think, oh, is it Boomtown? Is it Commissions Inc? Is it this? Boomtown was amazing for us. It was a great portal. And I admit that we got caught up in, you know, the trends of listening to some people, and we wanted some changes done. They were still scaling. They were still trying some new things out, and I wanted it now. Well, let's just say I got courted and I moved over. And that's one decision I feel that I kind of regret. But at this point, we are with Follow Up Boss. We feel that they communicate well with all the different streams that we work with. And it right now, it serves its purpose for us. So everything goes into Follow Up Boss. And we work closely with, we obviously, I think I mentioned earlier, we as well work with Better Voice. So all the leads, every single call that comes in is tracked through Better Voice.
Got it.
Every text, every call we have a money phone, and that money phone is the number that's out there. And what I've done is I mask every single platform that we have. Each platform has its individual number. So we'll know if that came from Zillow. We know if it's a direct call from realtor.com. We'll know if it's a sign call. We'll know if it's a mailer. And my agents see this. So when we're talking to them and they say, hey, you know, this scenario came up, I said, where did the lead come through? Oh, it was a sign call. So we know, we know it's generating business through listings. Oh, it was that ad campaign that we recently did on that mailer that talked about houses have gone up year over year by this percentage. So all of that's tracked. We can see it through Better Voice as well. And then some direct calls, we just haven't cracked the code, but those will be entered manually, and we trust our agents. We have a very good trustworthy group of agents. We were using call to action, but a team our size, and I love Jesse, by the way. Jesse's a good friend of mine, and I'm still using call to action on my end for like my speaking engagements, or like if I want to do some sort of call to action or give something back for free, they could just text me and I'll just send it through that campaign.
Nice.
And even through the community, minor things. But at the scale that we're trying to do it, we have not been able to, our team is 18 deep with with additional admin staff. So it was a little hard to, for that capacity on call to action. So we went back to just Better Voice, and it works for now for us.
All right. So take me through the process just for the incoming Zillow leads, right? As soon as the person inquires, or a realtor.com lead, either one, when they come through, tell me what happens. They go into follow-up boss. Who calls? Does an ISA call, or does it get assigned to an agent?
So great question. We have toyed around with this. We had an ISA. We love the ISA model when it was, when it was new, it was fresh. We have been toying with this since 2011 when we first joined with Boomtown, and we didn't even know what to do with nurture campaigns at that time. We were like, what do you do with these people? What are these? These are leads? What are leads? I remember we used that door knock and do all this stuff, which we still do, but I'm saying that was the only source of leads or referrals. But so when a lead comes in and calls in, what we've decided to do, and we decided this about a year ago, we went away from the ISA model. I trust my agents, and I feel that my agents are the best first line of defense. I want them to talk to the person who's calling and wanting to buy a house first, if I can. And I had too many layers, and I think that the ISA model is one that's still developing, where there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's a lot of holes to fill, like just water. You plug this hole and water was coming out this way. You plug this hole and water was coming out this way. Whether it was the agent saying, oh, the ISA is not distributing it fairly, or, the ISA is hoarding the leads, or, or the capacity that the ISA could truly do at that time for us in our model. Again, I'm not knocking ISA models. It's like our model. We figured out as we were developing and really nurturing our agents and pouring into them, we trusted them enough, and we felt we could teach them that skill set to be the first line of defense. So they answer the calls. If they answer the call, it's their lead. We don't put price ceilings on them. Again, we train them all to be capable of handling the buyer. If it is a listing, which right now we have 2 listing partners, then the agents know that that is set up for the listing partner to then have a follow-up call. This is something that in the next few weeks, we are actually about to roll out, because in order for us to get to the goal that we have of 600 closed transactions in 2019 and finishing up this year with 400, we've got to do something different. We can't get 600 doing the same thing that we're doing with the teams who are doing 600 are doing. Therefore, we will now segue all of our agents who have proven production into being listing partners. Again, eliminating that extra layer and putting the agent who's building that initial rapport to take that transaction from beginning to end. We have a TC model. We obviously have, every file has a transaction coordinator. My agent's job is to, again, service this person and nurture them from beginning to end. We have implemented the process now of a WOW service coordinator, and her job is to call after the call has been accepted, after
nice,
in with our agents, and just say, how's it going? Sort of like with the CSAT that Zillow's doing, or, you know, the surveys that are, you know, the Uber-like surveys, 5-star. Well, you know what? With tech, it can be all like ratings and just star, but how the times we've done it, the calls are like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah, actually, Tristan's doing a wonderful job. I'm really, really happy. Or, hey, I actually haven't heard from Tristan. So listen, let's be honest, guys. It's not always a walk in the park. And us team leaders, we have to be honest with ourselves. We're not always going to give, we're not always going to get great feedback. And what do you do with that negative feedback, and how do you pivot and implement and make things better? So I'm really excited about that. Again, the ISA model for us was one that we tried. It worked for a while, but things changed. It swiftly changed for us, in realizing that this is a relationship business and we want to have relationships with people. And it's just so much more genuine for us when we're the ones answering the phone. Now, with that being said, it could be a little contradicting because we know Zillow just rolled out PA4. And I'm not sure if you're too familiar with it or following it, but there's a little uproar on that. You mean they're going to nurture the lead? We're not going to get the email campaigns. We're not going to get the inquiries. And they're only going to give it to us when they want to talk to an agent. Again, if you can't beat them, you join them, you pivot. So what we did is we created pods. We created pods on our team. So this way, at all times, we have 5 agents on rotation ready to answer the phone. It rings to all 5 of them. And that respective week, pod 1 is on, let's say, week 1. They know it's like a micro team within a team. They communicate with each other. They step up as leaders together. They say, hey guys, I'm showing a house. I can't cover the phones right now. You guys got it? They're like, yep, 2 of you are on. I'm your backup. So they're constantly working together. So from 9 to 12, we have 2 people on shift with the backup. From 12 to 6, we have 2 people on shift with the backup. And after 6 p.m., they go to a jump off.
It's like floor time, but on the phone.
Yes. And then on the weekend, they're all on jump off. And they know it's their responsibility. Each pod is then monitored closely and reward, like, hey guys, you guys are doing a great job. We didn't have any missed calls this week. Again, because every single call matters. And we believe that every single call is because someone wants to speak to them right now. So we want to make ourselves available. So understanding that I get what the leadership over there is trying to do, again, give quality calls rather than just the noise, because again, we talked about this, 5.4 million, 5.5 million is usually what's going to happen, right? That's what's going to buy, right? But how many leads are generated? Millions and millions and millions of leads that are noise. So we're saying, okay, well, if anything, if they are going to call us, we're going to be ready to answer them.
All right, makes sense. So then tell me here as we wrap up, what's the one thing that's working really awesome for you this year? What's that one thing?
And this is more, I guess, just being a better leader and putting myself in the trenches with my team, sitting down and asking them 3 core questions that I asked. And it has changed my life. It's changed the way I do business. It's changed my relationship with my team and the retention. And we have a really good retention rate. We don't have a lot of attrition on our team, but we continue to grow, not because we're getting more leads, not because my agents are getting better, but because I feel like I'm listening. I ask them, what should I stop doing? What should I start doing as a leader? And what are you committed to doing to help our team and organization get better each day? Wow. So I've allowed my team to be part of the decision-making process, to grow and have an opinion on how we can get better. Call me out, tell me the areas I need to get better on, and I'm going to do the same to you. And, this team dynamic is more than just leads. And I have realized it, and we're stronger than ever. And it's a result to us realizing we've made a choice to be in business together and go after our dreams together. And for a long time, again, I was chasing those shiny objects, right? And organically, we went from 2 agents, 4 agents. We've been steady for the last 2.5, 3 years as a strong 15 to 18 man team. And I've only lost 3 agents, and I'll tell you why. 1 followed his dream to go into the FBI, and I told him, you better do it. The
Wow.
other one husband got a job relocation to another state. And I said, you got to follow your husband, although I know you love me. And the other one was chasing love and moved away. And he comes back the end of the month because it didn't work out. And he always had a space on his team. So that's as far as my attrition rate goes.
Wow.
But it's because we're getting gritty together, we're learning, and we're navigating through this industry together. And it's the people who make the glue to our team special.
How do you keep that culture going? Because that's culture.
I guess it's just leading with the heart. Honestly, it really is the heart, and getting to know each and every one of my agents, knowing what makes them cry, what makes them happy, what their pain points are. And usually when we're doing our coaching, it's really not about the calls. We're talking about that mindset of what's keeping them up at night today. And, you know, what's their biggest struggle? What's their biggest challenge? And what is the dream that I can help them get one step closer to? How can I help them? So that's what gets really excited, and it gets really exciting. And at that point, we just end up being family.
I love that. All right, to close it out then, Veronica, what are you looking to close this year as a team in Florida?
So we're looking to close 400 transactions as a team this year in Florida, and we just got the numbers yesterday. We are trending to beat our numbers from last year, which ended up around 367. Ooh. We're a little behind on the 400 goal. We had a lot of changes, but I'm excited. We're still trending upwards. We just had a record-breaking month, and I've got a lot of goals. In 2019, the goal is 600.
I love that. Thanks, Veronica. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. You have great energy and you're super sweet. I love that.
Oh, thank you, Tristan.
I took a whole bunch of notes, so I'm going to repost it with my notes up there.
Thanks.
So if people have questions in there, just chime in just to help us all out.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Veronica.
Bye-bye.
Bye.